Hi guys, it's Irene's Braids and I am back with another video. So let's get right into it. So today we'll be using some 68-inch free tress T27 braiding hair. This hair is so gorgeous. I love it. So you guys, we'll be using this hair to do some jumbo knotless braids. So we did use about 3 packs to complete the entire style. To go ahead and begin my style, I'm using some Shining Jam for her parts. But one thing that I did notice about using the Shining Jam on this particular client's hair was that the Shining Jam made her hair revert into curling up. So with this type of style, you want the hair to be sleek. And I noticed that when I used the Shining Jam to rub through her hair and for the parting, her hair curled up. So you will notice that when I do my first braid that her hair gets more curly. So when I noticed that, I stopped using it. And then I went in with the Eben Braid Formula Medium Hold. That one worked very, very well for the remaining of her braids, and it helped her roots not to curl. So if you have a client or if you yourself and you have that hair texture that curls up with that water-based product, then I would not go with the Shining Jam for the roots. Now, we'll be using a medium-sized piece of braiding hair. As you see here, I am making sure that the ends of my braids are all lined up because I want to have that ombre effect as it braids down. So I'm going to go ahead and pull her hair into 3 sections, and I'm not making them neat, just making 3. I'm using my index and my thumb finger to grab a hold of the braiding hair, and I'm going to place it in between my index and thumb finger. And I'm going to bring down that top layered piece, and I'm going to intertwine my index finger through until I'm able to braid the extension hair through. Now, I did have to repeat this braid over because I noticed that the gold piece was showing at the beginning of the braid, and I didn't want that. The goal is to try to get her natural hair to cover up as much as the colored braiding hair as possible, so that way it can have a natural start. So again, I went ahead and sectioned her hair into 3 pieces, and I used my index and thumb finger to place the hair in between, and then I braided it through so that way that the natural hair would be able to cover the root and have a natural start as I braided through. Now you will see some of her dark hair over the 27, which is fine. That's normally how it works when it comes to doing knotless braids. You're not able to tuck it immediately, but once you get to a nice point, you will be able to roll the hair back and tuck it out of the way so that way you don't have to see too much of your client's natural hair. And I'm going to continue to repeat this method until I'm completely done and I braid my braids entirely to the tips. Okay? So with that being said, let's continue watching. All right, you guys. So with this particular braid, my second braid, I didn't get it on camera because I was doing a YouTube video and doing a Reels video for Instagram. But of course, you will get to see what that finished braid looked like for my second braid. So my apologies. I was not able to go in back and forth between YouTube clips and the Reels clips to show you that particular braid there. But however, the remaining of the clips that I do have for you will be the finishing look of the entire style. Now, I did use the Shining Gem just for parting only on my client's hair. Again, like I stated in the beginning of this video, her natural hair reverted up and curled pretty quickly when I used it for the roots and to comb through her hair. So this works better for me when it comes to parting because it gives you more of a smoother, I want to say like a smoother feel when you're parting it with the comb. And as far as the even braided formula, I don't like using that for parting only because it's more stickier, and I feel like I feel like it's pretty much ripping my client's hair, if it makes sense. Not necessarily ripping it, but when it gets so sticky and you are trying to part, it makes it hard for the comb to go through it nice and neatly. So I try not to use the even. Okay. All right. So pretty much I'm going to just continue making my parts here. Now we already did 2 braids for the back of her head. Now I'm getting ready to part out a U-shaped part, and as you guys know, I love making U-shaped parts because I'm able to create more fullness when I do that. So the braids lay nicely when I go ahead and start my U-shaped parting. So for this particular look, your second row will be your U-shaped part. Okay, now you guys always ask me how many rows, and I know you guys get frustrated with me because I won't say, but I always tell you guys I don't count how many rows, I don't count how many braids per section, and the reason being is because everyone's head size is different. This particular client, she has an average size head, and she does not require me to have to put too many braids. So therefore, the style that we're going for works perfectly, and the amount of braids that I have in her head and per row works perfectly. But if I had a client whose head was much bigger, she would need more braids. So if those who like to say, oh, well, I already know how many rows she did and how many braids she did, and you guys follow it, do not listen to those people in the comment section. I'm telling you now, your braids are not going to look good. Just because she has 6 braids does not mean you need 6 braids, because it's going to look different. So I guess as a pinpoint for you, just choose the sizing that you want and continue with that sizing until you complete the row. And then however many braids you're able to fill within that row, then go with that. That's what I would do. So we're going for the jumbo look. This is the type of sizing that we need for that look. That's what you want to go off of pretty much your sizing, and not how many rows and how many braids, because it's not going to look the same. Okay? Now back to braiding. All right. So as again, like I stated in the beginning, I'm going to braid it through. And I noticed that I had to pretty much grip her hair pretty, be consistent with my gripping of her hair. Her hair is a little bit thinner, so I needed to make sure that the base of my braid looked nice, neat, and sharp. And by doing so, I had to make sure that I was able to keep a good grip as I braided it through and as I braided it down. So that is what I did here. And I'm going to just let you guys watch the process, and I'll be back to explain the remaining of this style here. All right, let's continue watching. Okay, you guys, so we have finished our second row, and now we're getting ready to finish out our final section, which would be our middle part. So with the middle part, normally I see that some styles like to leave just 4 braids at the top, but for me, I just feel like that's just not enough. So we're gonna go with 6 braids at the top total, 3 on each side. Again, for her particular head, this is what works. It may not be the same outcome for someone else if your head size is different. So again, do not go off of how many I did. Please just part out your parts and then see how many braids will fit. So that way it could be a full look and it looks nice and it looks seamlessly done. Okay, so let's get into it. So here is my unfinished section. I'm going to just go ahead and show you guys how I finished out the opposite side. I wanted to make sure that I mirrored my parts. So wherever I stopped on my opposite side, I took my comb to start parting exactly where I finished off at on the opposite side. That way my parts will align nice and neatly. And just a little tip for how you part down the middle. You want to go off of your client's nose. So kind of take your comb and you want to start by the tip of your client's nose and work the tip of the comb up towards her top of her head to see how you can get that middle part to look nice and seamlessly done. All right, so let's continue watching. All right, you guys. So I'm sorry that I was in the clip so much. It was really hard for me to get content and not be in the way. So of course I was in the way. So my apologies, but you still see the point here. Now, off camera, I took her to my dipping room and I used an kettle pot to heat up some hot water to dip her braids in. I did not use foam because her roots curl up very easily. So I only used oil sheen to finish out her look. But other than that, we swooped her edges back and left a little sideburns. I'm not crazy about baby hairs. I feel like it's pointless and it's a waste of time. But for those that like it, you know, do what you got to do. But for those who are not really into baby hairs, this is a great way to finish off your braids. Thank you guys so much for watching. I definitely appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. Here is our final look. The braids are so pretty. This is definitely a great style for vacation. If you just need something quick, if you're working out and you don't feel like dealing with your hair, this is a style that you should try out. And don't forget that if you would like to book me for your next service, click that link in the description box below or visit Google and search in Irene's Braids Salon and you'll be able to select the website to book your next visit. As always, thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.